Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my buddy Chris Dunn with us from BlueHive. Hey Chris, welcome to the show. How you doing, bud?
Hey, Kevin, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on again. I appreciate it.
So Chris, I asked you to come on today because I saw some of the work you did for Veterans Inc. So I asked you to come on the show today. Can you share some of the pictures? Because they're just amazing looking. I was looking at it earlier, like, wow, that came out amazing. Let's talk a little bit about it.
I would love to. I would love to. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yep.
Okay, we can see what's going on there, right? Sounds good. Hey, we put together a little focus package, a case study. But in general, I kind of walk you back just a little bit to give a little bit more context for everybody who's watching. BlueHive, primarily, we play in the trade show exhibit and display world. But that skill set really translates to a bunch of different areas. Previous call, we talked about corporate interiors. We also do a lot of work with our companies that are venturing into. Look at that. Probably cut down on that. Venturing into corporate events and other type of events. So you referenced this one in particular for Veterans Inc. This happened to be a gala that was happening. So very much not so much business to business focus, but in this particular case, it was a nonprofit that was catering really to draw folks in for donations and try to raise money for this great cause. So kind of a B2C facing type of a thing.
Okay.
Real quickly, the Veterans Inc. is a local group that we were involved with. The venue, which is super cool, is over in Hudson, and it's a war museum, for lack of a better term there. And we kind of see all of these different areas where we participated and brought in our skill sets to help with not only creation of graphics but kind of theming, as well as creation of artwork for print and web and all these other areas. So here's a couple of great shots from this American Heritage Museum, and as we can see, it's very much dialed in. It's a perfect spot for where Veterans Inc. might want to hold an exhibit or hold an event, right? So you can very clearly see. Obviously, we didn't have anything to do with the tanks and the armored personnel carriers. We were guys bringing in the light boxes, creating all the design work for those different large scale backlit graphics that really kind of were both wayfinding as well as communicating who the sponsors were and kind of tying everything together so that the people who were there were kind of fully aware of all the different aspects of the event itself. Here's a couple different shots right here. Obviously, some more light boxes that were placed in different areas, some wayfinding pieces, some floor graphics over here. Follow the boots. So it's kind of some directorial kind of stuff and how to navigate through that space, which was really cool. And just a little bit more here, kind of a deeper dive into some of the other supporting things that we had done in the way of creation of graphic design elements for, kind of a pre-event mailers, and also, other pieces that were kind of printed for the program guide and all of those kind of peripheral supporting elements.
That really does look pretty amazing, to be honest. Now, Chris, I have a question before we go further. Can you
Sure.
help people like develop the plan? So someone like myself, if I was involved in planning this, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I said, I look at the lights, I'm like, that looks amazing, but I wouldn't have known to even ask for that. So can you guide people through like what it should look like so they don't miss out on something like that?
Absolutely, and it's really kind of a parallel skill set that we utilize kind of on our on the trade show side, because we're kind of designing and building experiences and how people might come into and engage within a certain space. In that particular aspect, it's a temporary type of a structure that we're setting it up, and we're trying to make sure that storytelling is easily discerned all the way through. In this particular instance, as we were working with the folks who are associated with Veterans Inc., they kind of picked the venue, and they had an overall kind of understanding of what they wanted to try to do. But sitting down, doing that discovery meeting, and then moving forward, it's kind of that step-by-step process. Okay, well, you're looking to do this, let's try this. Or have you thought about maybe here we can input some graphics and some wayfinding and some signage and some other themed pieces in different areas, such that when somebody comes down this set of stairs, they're going to know turn right to go towards the exhibits and learn more about this, particular fight here on June 6, 1944, or go left to find where the food and the beverages are served.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a really big task doing this.
It was a bit of a labor of love.
Mm.
This is a group that we're pretty involved with, and there's a great affinity, I think, for anybody who has served our country within BlueHive. We've got a lot of respect for anybody who's worn a uniform in that effect. So we were really happy to be involved, in that overall event and space for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that was from a picture standpoint, that was pretty much what we were looking at there. And yeah, a great event, and we'd love to help other folks do similar things, whether they be corporate events, sales kickoffs, or national sales meeting events, partner events, really anything that requires both kind of an overall planning structure, graphics, and all kind of those different things kind of tied together.
I guess I'm always impressed when I go to an event and you see someone have that outstanding looking booth. You just see people just get drawn to it, and at first you might go out and not know that expectation. And then you're like, well, just not getting the traffic because you see have someone in your aisle like has that just displayed. You're like, oh my God, I don't even know what this company is, but I'm going to see them because it's just so impressive. That's what we're looking for. Like, hey, I'm here. I want to draw people to me. That's where you guys come in to help us build that, right?
Absolutely. And you're spot on there. If you really got a very short period of time to make that really good first impression, and if done wrong, you might burn a relationship forever. That's not a worst case scenario, but are people going to stop and pay attention to what you're doing if you're really not showing yourself in the best light? So you need to be consistent with your brand. You need to show up. You need to put thought and effort into it, and budget to match, and just make sure that you're intentional with those plans. I think people who just kind of throw stuff against the wall and say, I'm just going to show up at this event and see how it goes without a real plan, they the old saying there, if you fail to plan, your plan's going to fail.
Yep. So Chris, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Well, that's a great question. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can find me there, Chris Dunn. I'm obviously with BlueHive Exhibits, so you can find me, at my email address, which is cdunn@blue-hive.com, and obviously through Friends of Kevin.
Awesome, Chris. I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to call into the show, and as always, thanks for being my friend.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin.